Here's something I think is a good idea. Do something for the person you will be 5 years from now. This is something that I've done kind of continuously, is always arranged my life so that some part of what I was doing was for the person that was going to be 5 years older. And it's pretty simple. When I was 20 years old, I was in college, and I just thought to myself, it'd be a good idea if I stayed in school. Sometimes I didn't feel like I should stay in school, whatever, but I thought, the person that's going to be 25 years old would like to have a college degree. So I arranged my life so that I just simply stayed in school. Doesn't mean I got great grades or anything like that. I didn't give up everything I was doing at 20 so the guy at 25 would be happy, but I just arranged my life so that part of it was for that person that I would be 5 years later. Okay, so 25 years old, had a bachelor's degree in mathematics, master's degree in mathematics, and I had a good full-time job teaching high school. So things had worked out pretty well just with that philosophy. So now I'm teaching high school. I've got a master's degree in mathematics, and I'm thinking to myself, well, the person that's going to be 30 years old would like to know if there was some other options besides teaching high school. So I just made sure that as the years went by, I did some things for that person. So for instance, I applied to medical school. I took the test to be an actuary. I applied for some engineering jobs, just things like that, just to see if there was some other options. Actually got some job offers, but I thought to myself, I'm enjoying teaching. I think those engineering jobs will probably be there later on, so I'm just going to stick with teaching for right now. But the idea was just to see if I had some other options. I didn't give up everything I was doing at that time to see what the options were, but I just made sure that I looked into some other options for myself. And one of the things I did during that time was I applied to some community colleges to see if there would be some teaching jobs. So by the time I was 30, it turns out I had a community college teaching job, teaching full-time at the community college, and I also had written a chapter of a book and kind of sent it around to some publishers. It ended up being published. So by the time I was 30, just trying to keep the person in mind that was going to be 5 years older, I had a real good community college job, and I had gotten a break getting that first book published. So at that time I thought to myself, I got to follow up on this break. Not everybody gets a break like that. I got it, so I'm going to see what I can do to continue with that writing. But I'm teaching full time, so I thought, I've got to get up 2 hours earlier in the morning and do that writing first. Then I can go on with the rest of my day, and everything will work out. So that's what I did. By the time I was 35, had a couple more books published. Really worked out well that way. So the idea is not to give up everything for the future, but to make sure that there's something that you're doing in your life at this time for the person that will be 5 years older. It's worked out really well for me. I've had a very satisfying career. I think you can probably tell by watching these YouTube videos. I really enjoy teaching, writing about mathematics, things like that. And part of the reason that it worked out so well was because I always kept in mind that person that I was going to be 5 years from now. And I just conducted my life so that some part of what I was doing in the present was for that person that I would be 5 years later. So if you're looking for something to do, kind of a way to arrange your life or a way to look at things, do something for the person you will be 5 years from now.